My mother and father have over me. If you're going to talk, you can go outside the masjid and talk by all means, but if you're here, please sit quietly. In the end, you can meet me as well, and inshallah, if those of you want to know the answers, they can have the answers as well. What right does my mother and father have over me? They have the right that you respect them, you honor them, you love them, you care for them, you look after them, you provide for them. Yeah? These are the rights that they have over you. These are the rights that they have over you. Likewise, in return, you as a child have rights over your parents. They should clothe you, feed you, look after you, honor you, respect you, educate you. These are their rights. When the rights are not being fulfilled, that's where there's imbalance in family. That's when problems occur. So for that reason, we need to learn the rights, and then we need to exercise these rights in our lives. If for how long I have been doing bad, how do I get rid of it? Where do I start? You start by making tawbah. Make intention, repent to Allah Almighty, cut off the bad habits. You know what you do bad. Cut them off and take it from there. You stop those ways and then you start anew. You know, if you've got to get rid of your phone, you get rid of your phone. If you've got to get rid of your clothes that are haram, you get rid of them. That's what you should do. Brother says, I purchased a house with haram money or non-halal money. If you change your ways and make halal money to the same volume, the same value, can you make that house halal? If you purchase the house with the same value, you've got the same amount in return, the house itself is bought on haram, but it can become halal when you do halal in there. You buy another house. Maybe if you sell this house, you buy another house, you do it like that. That money that is haram money, you can't give that to charity. You've got to bear that in mind. Haram money can't be given to charity to the poor people. With haram money, what happens with it is you give it to a needy, a good cause, like the ambulance service. If there's a lot of haram money, people who have money, I know exactly, people launder the money. They'll put it into businesses, laundry. That is assets. When they become your assets, you own them. When you own them, that's you owning haram. Get rid of them. Let it go. If you really want to change, let go. When you've got that over your head, you're going to live with that for the rest of your life. What are you going to do? On the day of Qiyamah, you will have to answer for that as well. For the sisters, can you explain the importance of hijab? I don't want to sound extreme, backward, but I'll give logical example. Why do sisters and why should they wear hijab? Because when they wear a hijab, it's a sign of modesty. Really it is. Look, when you cover something, that thing that you're covering is gaining protection. The hijab is a protection for a woman. When you cover something, what happens is that thing becomes warm because it's covered. The hijab is a warmth for the woman. Yeah? When somebody comes to your house, do you show them your gold? Do you say, this is my bank balance, this is the gold, the sonar, ume that I have? You don't do it. Why? Private property, isn't it? If that's private property, to me, our women are our private property. We don't show them to no one. And we shouldn't allow them to exercise. If you are in that way, you should eventually look to become modest, to become humble. And again, it's a matter of haya. It's an expression of modesty. It's a sign of modesty that a woman covers herself up. And that's the importance of it. You are asked to cover yourself up because look, it's proven. When a woman doesn't have much on her, she has a lot of attention. When she's covered up, you might have desires, urges, but you still respect and think, you know what, she's covered up. That's not the one. Therefore, it brings respect to yourself. Automatically that woman gains respect. And she does a lot of, it's a matter of self-respect. If you respect yourself, you cover yourself up. It's the same with guys. Guys shouldn't wear shorts. Guys shouldn't be going out with these trousers hanging below the bottom. There's no respect there. As a matter of respect, this is how you do it. Therefore, it's very important that that's one of the importance of wearing hijab. Qualities of a wife. A wife should be obedient to the husband. She should care for the children, look after the children. She is equal to the husband, but her responsibilities vary. She is equal to the husband. The husband's not better than his wife. That's a backward mentality. The wife, the husband are equal. In the court of Allah Almighty, there's no difference between the man and the woman. Yeah? But her role and responsibility is different. She's going to nurture children, she's going to bring them up, look after them. The husband's going to go out and work. When these things work together properly, then you find a good balance in the family. But I'm not saying this is bad. When you find a woman who goes out and works, the father goes out and works, who's going to look after the children? Who's going to nurture the children? This is why, this is something that you need to find the balance, is the key. The wife, she has to have patience. The husband has to have patience, tolerance, mutual respect. These are key things to a successful marriage. The Ahlul Bayt, I explained in Maqam. What's wrong with smoking weed? But I'm telling you what's right with it. Whoever said what's wrong, you tell me what's right with it, brother. What, you want to get high? I'll tell you why it's wrong. Islam is a religion that says at all times you should have control over your senses. You should have control over yourself. The moment you become uncontrollable or you become intoxicated, then that moment it's not allowed for you. You're not allowed to get into the state of intoxication. That's why smoking weed intoxicates a person. He gets into a zone. You know, he gets hungry. He likes the munchies. He gets bloodshot red eyes. He starts talking too much. Some people, it's an adverse effect. He doesn't like talking much. He gets grumpy. He sits in his car. Read everywhere. He likes to put his music on. He's doing his own thing on that. So, for that reason, Islam says you should have control over your senses at all times. That's why intoxication, any form of intoxicant is haram. Is there a difference in smoking drugs and alcohol in the eyes of Allah? In reality, it's the same thing. The common feature between the two is what? Intoxication. Because it's intoxicating, it's not allowed. Someone says, Imam Sahib, I take one drug, I don't get intoxicated. I take one sip of Jack Daniels, I don't get drunk. Still haram. Still haram. Just because you take one doesn't mean that it's fine. You take one becomes two, two becomes four, four becomes eight, eight becomes what? Drunk. The whole bottle, and next thing you know, you're lost, you're took. For that reason, we said, you don't go there in the first place. Islam closed that door completely. Don't even go there. Don't even take a pull. Don't even take a drag. Because if you take one, it'll lead to more. That's why Islam says, don't even enter into relationships with a woman. Why? Because what's going to happen? It'll go wrong. It closes the door. There's a way to do things, and there's a good way and a bad way, right way and a wrong way to do things. Do it the right way. Don't do it the wrong way. Somebody asked, can you touch on wasila? I mentioned wasila. Should you respect all prophets the same? Is it permissible to show? تلك الرسل فضلنا بعضهم على بعض منهم من كلم الله ورفع بعضهم درجات. All the prophets in terms of their prophethood are equal. But some prophets had more than others. Which prophet seen Allah? Nabi alayhi salam. All the other prophets didn't see Allah. So Nabi alayhi salam automatically has a greater rank there. Who led all the prophets in prayer? The Prophet alayhi salam, not Ibrahim alayhi salam. Therefore Nabi alayhi salam has by virtue greater. So in virtues, some are greater than others. Musa alayhi salam spoke directly to Allah. So through virtue, yes, they can vary in ranks. And we can show more respect. We show respect to all of them. When it comes to respect, each prophet is deserving and equal of respect and love. When it comes to virtue and comes to status, some prophets hold a greater status than everyone, than others. Can you give some example as to why it's permissible to celebrate the Mawlid? If you can go to a restaurant and celebrate your own birthday, and you don't have a problem with that, now tell me, why can't we celebrate the Prophet ﷺ's birthday? What do we do? Tell me. What do I do? When I celebrate Nabi ﷺ's birthday, what do? I come to the house of Allah, I do tilawat of the Quran. Is tilawat wrong? Is coming to the house of Allah wrong? Is reading Naat wrong? Is talking about Nabi ﷺ wrong? So what's wrong with it? Nothing wrong with it. That's what's happening basically. We don't put a chair there and say the Prophet ﷺ's here, astaghfirullah. That's ignorance. That's not us. That's fibs and lies against us. Yeah, we believe the Prophet ﷺ's day that they were born is a special day. If you believe that Nabi ﷺ when they received Nabuwwat, or when they did I'lan in Nabuwwat, it's a special day, then don't you think the day they were born, they were special? Don't you think the day they left from this world, that was a special day? Their death is not like mine and your death. Their departure is not like mine and your departure. That's why Nabi Sallam said, Hayati khayrul lakum wa mamati khayrul lakum. My life is good for you and my departure is good for you. They said, how is it good for us, Ya Rasulullah? Nabi Sallam said, your deeds are presented to me when I will pass away. All your actions will come to me. And when you do good, I will praise Allah and I will make dua for you. When you do bad, I will do istighfar for you. This hadith mentioned Sunan of Abu Dawood. Sunan Abi Dawood al-Sharif. So this is what we believe. Mawlid is allowed. If it's an innovation, if you take the opinion that it's an innovation, don't think every innovation is bad. If it's an innovation, it can be good. Now I'll ask you a question and I'll finish this question on this. If it's an innovation, something, remember an innovation is something that contradicts the Quran and Sunnah, goes against it. If it doesn't go against Quran and Sunnah and is founded somewhere in Quran and Sunnah, that's not an innovation. That has a grounding within the law, Islamic law. I am telling you that the Mawlid has grounding in Islamic law. But if you're still not convinced, you tell me, is it a good thing or bad thing to remember the Prophet's birth? Tell me, put your hand on your heart and tell me. What do you think? Is it a bad thing? Can't be bad. It's got to be good. You learn good from it. Therefore, why can't you do it?